Emma was exposed to the sun for 2 years before we knew that she had XP. She has had 2 surgeries, 7 biopsies. Every time we go outside, she has to be completely covered. She's 8 years old, and it's just a lot.
Oftentimes, people would stare or point the finger, and boldly enough, I've been asked, was I abused?
I am currently living with CCCA, which is known as Central Cicatricial Centrifugal Alopecia. It's a scarring hair loss disorder. Another thing about it is it commonly affects, unfortunately, Black women. And right now, we don't really know what causes it. I know that previously, we thought that it was due to cultural hair practices. And I was actually told that even recently at one of my dermatology appointments that stopped using hot combs, and I don't use hot combs and it's completely outdated. But I do feel like at least earlier when I was diagnosed that I kind of felt like it was my fault. Some of the symptoms for me were like pain, itching, tenderness at the crown of my scalp or center of my head for a very long period of time before I actually started to see like balding at the crown of my scalp. I just miss the freedom of just being able to wear my hair.
My daughter is Emma Little, and she's 8 years old. She has xeroderma pigmentosum, and she just wants to be a normal kid. Anyone with XP cannot fix any UV damage to their skin. So every cell made after that has that broken damage. And so that's why they develop skin cancer. Even a second in the sun creates that damage, and it's permanent, it's forever. You are constantly having to be vigilant about UV. And it's not just the sun, it's light bulbs as well. She has to put sunscreen on 3 times a day. She does eye drops 3 times a day. She has to wash her eyes every night. She has a hat that she wears that protects her, that blocks UV. She has to wear gloves, 2 layers of clothing. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting for her, trying to explain every single day that you're outside why you're dressed that way. We call this Emma's fan hat. Everybody thinks she's an astronaut when she wears it. Like this. And you go outside, and so it's a little hard to hear because the fan is just blowing. This is her favorite hat, actually, that she likes to wear because it gives her at least a little bit of air. I'm getting emotional because I rarely ever put that on. It's just hard to believe that she has to wear that all the time.
I'm Marsha Henderson, and I'm living with skin sarcoidosis and pulmonary sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis is an inflammatory disease that is characterized by tiny clumps of cells called granulomas. They can attack any organ in your body, including your skin. It could cause your immune system to go into overdrive. Most of my granulomas or lesions are on my back, so I developed a really bad infection, and it spread to the tendons and the muscles surrounding my shoulder, where sometimes I can't raise my arms over my head. It will haunt me for the rest of my life until a cure is found.
My daughter, Audrey Klein, has Pachyonychia congenita, and she is 9. For anybody, if they walked, eventually they'd get a blister on the bottom of their foot. For PCers, those blisters can come from just a tiny number of steps, just daily activity. And whereas for most people, those blisters would heal, for PCers, they don't. They become incredibly painful. It's often described as walking on glass. So imagine you could only do 2,000 steps in a day. How do you prioritize your day? How do you get around? And those basic mobility questions are paramount. Right now, not only is there not a cure, there's not a treatment. Think about the difference between being able to walk and not being able to walk. Think about the ability to move without pain for the first time for some people in their life.
Psoriasis is a topical plaque. In my instance, it's an overabundance of cells that develops on top of the skin. For me, the worst symptoms are the cracking of the plaques that I have, and bleeding, and sometimes some oozing. I do have a lot of itch associated to my psoriasis, so that constant need to scratch then causes the pain and the burn. It's a constant cycle. I have, 4 or 5 different topical steroids that I have to take with me. I have a shampoo for my scalp. I've got a low-grade cortisone for areas of skin that are a little more sensitive. I actually have a Sharpie marker in my bathroom that I write what part of my body each one of the bottles goes in, so I know I'm not putting the wrong dose of steroid on the wrong part of my body. I want the doctors to understand it's not just another page off of a prescription pad. And I want the legislators to understand that don't make me try more treatments that my doctor knows aren't gonna work for me. Let me be on the right treatment.
There's just really no help, and we need insurance to help us. We need awareness with the communities so that there's less questions being asked and less stigma. More scientists who want to research XP. We need more funding for research in XP. Hopefully we can incentivize businesses to be sun safe, not just for XP patients, but for all of the skin patients that are out there.
We need answers. It's 84 million people living with skin diseases. And for you to go into a facility for treatment and you can't get the proper treatment because of the lack of education. There's so many barriers within the community, but I'm gonna keep fighting and continue to spread awareness for the rare disease community, and especially for skin sarcoidosis.